Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live Storytime. My name is Miss Mary, and I'm so happy to be here with you today to share some stories. Let me just do one thing. And of course, I am going to wait for some people to arrive. Welcome to another Wednesday Storytime. I have some great stories to share with you today, and as always, when you arrive, please say hello in the comments so that I can give you a shout out and say hello. I want to give a quick shout out to two girls who I know sometimes watch in the replay, and that is Amelia and Rose. Hello, girls. Hi, Margie. Hi, Sammy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Again, as always, say hello in the comments and I will be sure to give you a shout out. Just a couple of shout out, not rules, but just reminders is that the comments sometimes have a delay. So if you comment something and I don't answer right away, it's because I just haven't seen it yet. But I promise I'm not ignoring you. And also, if you make a comment or ask a question or anything like that, I'm in the middle of a story. I always wait till the end of my stories to give a shout out or answer a question. So, just a heads up, not ignoring you at all. I promise I will answer you. So welcome to Live Storytime, and this week's theme is grandparents. I saw a book, as usually happens. I picked up a book and got inspired by the first book I picked up this week, and I just thought that would be a great theme. We haven't done grandparents. So I have 4 wonderful books to share today. I'm just going to, not sure where I'm going to begin. As always, say hello in the comments if you want to shout out. And let's get started. Okay. My first book this week, and bear with me, sometimes I have to change how my computer looks. Okay. This first story is called Big Papa and the Time Machine by Daniel Bernstrom. Oh, yeah. Oh, you caught me just under the buzzer right before I started. Hi, Christine. Hi, Christine and Jay. Oh, thank you so much. We love your story times. They brighten our day. Let me tell you, Christine, they brighten my day too. My favorite time of the whole week. So thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to see you here. All right, so let's get started with our theme of grandparents. So we have Big Papa and the Time Machine. Okay. I won't never forget that September time when I didn't want to go to school and Big Papa came in his time machine to take us way, way back. Okay, so far it just looks like a car to me, but we'll see what happens. Do I have to go to school? Yes, Big Papa said. But I just want to go home and watch TV. You're scared, Big Papa said. Well, I'm scared I'll miss you. He turned the key and the engine revved. I think it's time I showed you something a long time ago. Okay. Okay, so now we're in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1952. We took Big Papa's time machine to a long time ago. Big Papa, why that silver-haired lady holding that boy tighter than tight? He was leaving home, Big Papa said. Needed to find him a job where he could eat fried fish every night. Big Papa, is that you? Yes, Big Papa said. You left your mama? Yes, Big Papa said. Were you scared? Scared to death, Big Papa said. Didn't have a job, didn't have money or a place to stay. But I thought you were never scared. No, I've been scared lots of times, Big Papa said. But sometimes you gotta lose the life you have if you're ever gonna find the one you want. That's called being brave. That's very scary. Okay, now we're moving on to Chicago 1955. We took our time machine to when Big Papa worked in the sky on top of tall buildings wrapped in coats of smoke and ash. You couldn't wear a white shirt back then, Big Papa said. If you did, it'd be black by the end of the day. All that soot in the air. You was up so high, wasn't you scared? Oh, I was scared, Big Papa said. Cars looked like little toys, and the wind would blow so hard you'd think it'd carry you right away. Why'd you work up so high? I couldn't stand to stay on the ground, Big Papa said. Sometimes you gotta walk with giants if you're ever gonna find out what you're made of. That's called being brave. I don't think I could ever work on a building that high. I give those men and women who work up there such credit. Okay, moving on in our time machine to Chicago 1957. We took our time machine to when Big Papa sat by himself in some bluesy club. Big Papa said, hear those trumpets and them saxophones? They still make my bones want to swim. But why aren't you dancing? You see that angel dancing in a pink dress, Big Papa said? That's your Nana. She stole my heart with that pink dress. Then Big Papa jumped into the crowd and his feet and arms swam with Nana's. And they danced and danced and danced. And Nana held Big Papa tighter than tight. I thought you were scared. I tell you, I was scared, Big Papa said. But sometimes you gotta jump in an ocean of scared if you're ever gonna dance with an angel. That's called being brave. Okay. Ooh, we jumped a lot. Chicago 1986. We took our time machine to the day a sad girl left a baby in Big Papa's arms. I'm that baby? Yes, Big Papa said. Your mama left you here for a while. But she never came back. No, Big Papa said. She never came back. Was you scared? You were so little, and I was so old. I'm sorry I made you scared. Big Papa hugged me tighter than tight. Sometimes you gotta love the unexpected if you're ever gonna find love at all. That's called being brave. Okay, oh wow, way back, 1941. Little Rock, Arkansas, cotton fields. We took our time machine to a long, long time ago. Big Papa, what we doing here? A boy who looked just like Big Papa scratched letters on a piece of thin paper. Big Papa, is that you? Big Papa held my hand tighter than tight. Just watch. What you doing with that paper? Said a man. I'm doing school. The man pulled a fistful of cotton from his pocket. See this cotton and see that field? Look at it. This is your school. The man took little Papa's school paper and ripped it up. Give up school, son. Work. That's all you're ever going to do. That's all we can ever do. Did you ever go back to school? No, Big Papa said. Does being scared ever go away? No, Big Papa said. You scared right now? Big Papa, you scared? Mm-hmm, Big Papa said. Why are you scared? I'm scared you're growing up too fast, Big Papa said, and I already miss you. I hugged Big Papa tighter than tight. But that's called being brave. Yes, Big Papa said. That's called being brave. Okay. So that is a very special story of a little boy and his Big Papa, his grandpa, who was really like a daddy to him. And I think he did a great job with that little boy, even though he was scared, because you know what? That's called being brave. All right. Welcome, everybody. If you are here, please say hello in the comments so I can give you a nice shout out. And okay, let's get to our next book. I'm just not sure which one I'm going to read next. Sometimes I just don't know. Okay, this one is called Dear Abuelo. And this one I really enjoyed because it's about a little girl who moves away. She's from Mexico, but she moves away and she keeps in touch with her abuelo by writing letters. So let's see what this one's about. Abuelo, I'm going to miss you so much, I said. And I'm going to miss Mexico too, but I promise to write to you about New York. Okay, they're moving to New York. It's a big change. Dear Abuelo, I haven't reached New York yet, and I already have so much to tell you. I'm on a plane. Can you believe it? Mommy let me sit in the window seat where I can see the tops of the clouds. They are so fluffy. I imagine walking on them. Too bad we can't. Love, Juana. Okay, looks like she's arrived. Okay. Dear Abuelo, we live in an apartment now. We don't have a yard, but there's a huge park. Mommy says it's so close we can walk there. It's snowing too. I hope the snow is so high I can jump in it. I'll write again soon. Love, Juana. Oh boy, first day of school. This is always scary, especially when you're new. Dear Abuelo, finally, my first day of school. This big yellow bus pulled up in front of our house. It was fun until I realized I couldn't understand what people were saying. I practiced as many English words as I could, but I was still confused when people talked to me. Oh, the letter continues. Next page, please. When I got to my class, my teacher took attendance. She called out Joanna instead of Juana. I wanted to say my name is Juana, but my mouth wouldn't make a sound. This hasn't been a good day. Juana. Poor girl. Dear Abuelo, I told Mommy what happened. I asked her why I didn't have a name that was easier to say in English. And you know what I learned? When she was little, she wanted a different name too. There were so many girls named Maria, she didn't feel like her name was special. She wanted me to have a special name, a name that would stand out. After dinner, Mommy hung Abuela Juana's picture on my wall. She said she wanted me to remember that my name is beautiful, like Abuela. Guess what? It's hard to be different, but I feel proud to have the same name as Abuela. I got through my first day of school, and I will get through my second day too. And I will keep learning. Love, Juana. Dear Abuelo, guess what? I made a friend. Her name is Elizabeth, and her family is from Mexico too, just like us. She was born in the United States, so she speaks English and Spanish. I wish I could speak both. My teacher told me Elizabeth would be my class buddy. I'm so happy. This is what she looks like. Love, Juana. It's getting a little bit better for her, right? I told Elizabeth about the teacher pronouncing my name wrong. Elizabeth thought I should tell the teacher, but I'm too shy. So Elizabeth held my hand and we walked right up to the teacher. Wow. The teacher seemed so happy as I was, that she could pronounce my name right. Yay. Abrazos, Juana. It's so important to have your name said correctly. I know I have learned sometimes that I've been saying a name wrong, and that's okay. You don't always know how to say a name, but when you learn, then you can use the right name, and oh my gosh, it's just so much better. Dear Abuelo, I think I'm going to like this school. The other day, the librarian showed me where I could find books in Spanish. I even found a book by an author named Juana. Maybe someday I'll write a book. In English and Spanish. Love, Juana. Oh, I just love that. That is Dear Abuelo, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but Abuelo is grandpa in Spanish, and Abuela is grandma. So I just loved Juana. You know, she had a rough start. You know, it's always tough to start a new school. You feel like you don't have friends yet. You're still getting settled in. She was in a new country. She was, you know, a little bit nervous about speaking English. All of those things, but she made a friend in Elizabeth, and she was going to practice her English, and she even got inspired by the librarian at school who showed her the Spanish books, and she thought, hey, maybe I could write a book someday that's in English and Spanish. And we have tons of those books here at the library, by the way. We have a great bilingual section, and those are books that are written in both English and Spanish. Miss Mary is always learning. I'm actually practicing my Spanish and learning more words every day. I did not take Spanish in school. I took French, which was a beautiful language. No one speaks it here, though. So no one speaks it here on Long Island. So I am learning Spanish because you're never too old to learn something new. So I'm getting there. I'm learning my colors and some words and phrases and things like that. So learning a little bit more every day, which is the best we can do, right? Okay, so this next book actually won the Caldecott Medal. You see that medal in the corner? And this is called The Hello Goodbye Window by Norton Juster. This one, and Chris Rocha. This won, I can't remember what year. It was several years ago. Okay, as always, if you're here, please say hello in the chat so I can give you a nice shout out. Here we go. I'm trying to make it so that you can see the whole book. There we go. Okay. Nana and Poppy live in a big house in the middle of town. There's a brick path that goes to the back porch, but before you get there, you pass right by the kitchen window. You see them in the kitchen window? Yep. Maybe I'll move. There we go. Okay. That's the hello goodbye window. It looks like a regular window, but it's not. The kitchen is where Nana and Poppy are most of the time. So you can climb up on the flour barrel and tap the window, then duck down, and they won't know who did it. Or you can press your face against the glass and frighten them. If they're not in the kitchen, you can't do any of those things and you have to wait until next time. If they see you first, they wave and make silly faces. Sometimes Nana peekaboos me, which always makes me laugh. So I get a lot of extra fun and hellos before I even get inside. What a cool window, right? Just look at the kitchen. It's so big. It has a table you can color on and lots of drawers to take stuff out of and play with. But you can't touch anything under the sink. You could get very sick. There are shelves full of glass jars with lots of everything in them, a step stool so I can wash my hands, and all kinds of pictures from the olden days. Nana says she even used to give me a bath in the sink when I was really little. Really? Ask your parents, because I bet you got a bath in the sink too when you were a really little baby. Sometimes Poppy plays his harmonica for me. He can only play one song, Oh Susanna, but he can play it in a lot of different ways. He can play it slow or fast, or he can play it sitting down or standing up. He says he can even play it and drink a glass of water at the same time. But I've never seen him do that. I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible. Sorry, Poppy. When I stay over, we have our supper in the kitchen too, and when it's dark outside, we can look at our reflections in the window. It works just like a mirror, except it's not in the bathroom, and it looks like we're outside looking in. Poppy says, "What are you doing out there? You come right in and have your dinner." And I say, "But I'm here with you, Poppy." And then he looks at me in his funny way. Just before I go up to bed, Nana turns off all the lights and we stand by the window and say goodnight to the stars. Do you know how many stars there are? Neither do I, but she knows them all. In the morning, the first place we go is back to the kitchen, and there's the window waiting for us. You can look out and say good morning to the garden or see if it's going to rain or be nice. And you can see if the dog next door is doing stuff in Nana's flower beds. She hates that. Sometimes Poppy says in a real loud voice, "Hello, world, what have you got for us today?" Nobody ever answers, but he doesn't care. Poppy makes breakfast. He says it's his specialty. My favorite is oatmeal with bananas and raisins that you can't see because he hides them down inside. But I find them all. When I get dressed, I help Nana in the garden. It's a very nice garden, but there's a tiger who lives behind the big bush in the back, so I don't ever go there. I think it's a cat. I ride my bike too. Just not in the street, please. Or collect sticks and acorns. But not in the house, please. Or just kick my ball around. Sometimes when it's hot, Poppy chases me with the hose and I yell, "Stop it, Poppy, stop it." When he does, I ask him to do it again. And Nana just shakes her head. When I get tired, I come in and take my nap. And nothing happens until I get up. Then sometimes I just sit by the hello goodbye window and watch. Nana says it's a magic window and anybody can come along when you least expect it. Tyrannosaurus Rex. He's extinct, so he doesn't come around much. The pizza delivery guy. Pepperoni and cheese, he knows my favorite. The Queen of England. Oh my. Nana is English, you know, so the Queen likes to come for tea. They all could come. and a lot more if they want. And if they do, I'll see them first. Mommy and Daddy pick me up after work. I'm glad because I know we're going home, but it makes me sad too because I have to leave Nana and Poppy. You can be happy and sad at the same time, you know. It just happens that way sometimes. When we leave, we always stop at the window and blow kisses goodbye. When you look from the outside, Nana and Poppy's house has lots of windows. But there's only one hello goodbye window, and it's right where you need it. When I get my own house someday, I'm going to have a special hello goodbye window too. By that time, I might be a Nana myself. I don't know who the Poppy will be, but I hope he can play the harmonica. And that is the Hello Goodbye Window by Norton Juster. I love that story. Just such a great celebration of a little girl and her grandparents. Okay, I have one more story to share with you today. This is the first book I picked up this week and got inspired to do the theme of grandparents. This is called Maud and Grandmaud by Sarah O'Leary. Okay, so she doesn't call her grandma, she calls her Grandmaud. On special Saturdays, Maud goes to Grandmaud's house and doesn't come home until Sunday. Maud worries a little about leaving her parents on their own, but Grandmaud says she thinks they will be all right. Grandmaud has made Maud a nightgown for the nights she sleeps over. The nightgown goes all the way to the floor and is made out of plaid flannel and is softer than anything. But what makes the nightgown special is that Grandmaud has made herself one to match. Once Maud and Grandmaud have put on their nightgowns, they are ready to have breakfast for supper. Have you ever had breakfast for dinner? I have. I love it. No matter what you eat for breakfast, it somehow always tastes better at supper time, says Maud. Because it is just the two of them, they eat their breakfast for supper on trays in the living room and watch movies. They will watch any kind of movie as long as it is in black and white. Was everything black and white when you were small? Maud asks. What do you think? Says Grandmaud. Maud pictures her grandma as a little girl. Oh yes, she said. When it is time for bed, Maud sleeps in the same room as Grandmaud because there are twin beds and one of them is just for Maud. The bed is a special bed, not just because Maud always has good dreams when she sleeps in it, though she always does. The bed is special because there is an old wooden chest underneath and there is always something new for Maud placed inside, even when Grandmaud doesn't know she will be visiting. Sometimes the chest holds something bought from a shop, like a toy or a treat, or a set of watercolor paints. Even better, the chest may hold something Grandmaud has made for Maud, like a sweater, or a pair of mittens, or some cookies to take home so the time between visits is sweeter. Best of all is when the chest has something from when Grandmaud was a little girl herself. One time, the chest held a stone shaped like a heart. I carried that in my pocket for one whole year, said Grandmaud. It went everywhere I went. Maud is happy to carry it in her own pocket wherever she goes now. Another time, there was a picture of Grandmaud riding on an elephant. You never told me you rode on a real elephant, said Maud. You never said Grandmaud. This time there was a book of fairy tales with Maud's name written in cursive inside it. This book has my name in it, says Maud. Well, I wasn't Grandmaud until you were born, says her grandma. Once upon a time, I was just Maud. Before Maud goes to sleep, Grandmaud sits on the bed and dims the light. She then asks Maud questions about what she thinks her life will be like. When I grow up, says Maud, I'm going to write the kind of stories that go in books. But they will all be happy stories. Some will be about people, and some might be about cats. Will you have children? Asks Grandmaud. Oh, yes, 7 children. 7? Says Grandmaud. At least 7, says Maud. And we will live in a very tall house that the children can have bunk beds that go up and up and up and up. And then one day you will have a granddaughter of your own, says Maud. Grandmaud. Maud smiles into the dark. When Maud falls asleep, she dreams that she is Grandmaud and lives in an apartment building and has a bedroom with twin beds. And in the dream, she is just waiting for one of Maud's special visits. And that is the story of Maud and Grandmaud. Okay. Oh, knock something over. Oh, I have a comment from, Paulette, you're so sweet. Great selection of stories, Miss Mary. I think I will go home and have breakfast. You're so welcome, Paulette. Thank you for being able to join in, and I hope you enjoy your breakfast for dinner. All right, everyone. That is it for me this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's stories. I will be back next Wednesday, which is St. Patrick's Day. I don't think I'm going to do a St. Patrick's Day theme, but I will do my best to remember to wear green. And until then, stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, be good, do good, be kind to each other, and I will see you next week with more stories. Bye, everyone.